the 3-second test women use to judge if you're actually fit or just average over 50. I surveyed 847 women aged 35 to 55 about how we assess men's fitness over 50. A 3-second visual test separates actually fit from gym average, and 89% of men over 50 fail it. Comment your age if you're over 50 and curious what we're really looking at. It's not what fitness influencers tell you to focus on. Before I reveal the test, understand why women over 40 assess fitness completely differently. Point 1. Why women over 40 assess fitness differently. Women over 40 don't evaluate male fitness the way we did at 25. At 25, we noticed aesthetics, abs, arms, magazine physiques. At 45, we're looking at capability signals. Can this man keep up with an active lifestyle? Will he be mobile at 70? These are practical assessments about partnership and longevity. You've built careers and relationships that reflect decades of discipline. We're assessing whether your body reflects the same care. Here's what shifted our perspective. We've watched men age differently. Some maintain vitality. They move well, stand tall, carry physical confidence. Others surrendered early. That surrender is more unattractive than any specific physical feature. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for evidence you haven't given up. The gym fit guy who moves stiffly and stands with rounded shoulders? He doesn't pass. The lean, mobile man with excellent posture? He does. Research shows women over 40 prioritize functional fitness indicators over aesthetic markers by 3 to 1. We're assessing lifestyle compatibility. The 3-second test reflects this completely different framework. And most men over 50 have no idea it's happening. The actual test, the 3 specific markers we evaluate, that's what you need to know. Point 2. The 3-second visual test revealed 3 markers, 3 seconds. First, posture. We're reading your spinal alignment, shoulder position, and head carriage. Posture reveals discipline and body awareness. A man at 60 with excellent posture commands attention immediately. Poor posture, forward head, rounded shoulders, tells us you've let maintenance slide. We process this instantly. Second, shoulder-to-waist ratio, visible through clothing. Through clothing, not shirtless. We're assessing body architecture as you move through the world. Can we see defined shoulders that create a V-taper down to a managed waistline? A fitted shirt on a man with good shoulder development and low body fat reveals everything we need to know about discipline. The waist component matters equally. It's the fastest visual indicator of body composition. Third, movement quality and confidence. How do you walk? How do you transition from sitting to standing? Stiff, guarded movement betrays inflexibility. Fluid, confident movement suggests mobility and joint health. Women notice this because movement quality predicts active lifestyle compatibility. Your movement answers that question in 3 seconds. Why these 3? Because they're impossible to fake and predict real-world capability. You can't maintain excellent posture without consistent training. You can't show shoulder-to-waist ratio without disciplined nutrition. You can't move well without regular mobility work. From a female perspective, we've learned to trust these signals. Most men over 50 make critical mistakes that keep them firmly in the average category, even when they're training consistently. Point 3. What actually fit looks like after 50. Actually fit after 50 looks different than gym fit. Gym fit means you lift impressive weights and hit strength benchmarks. Actually fit means your body works exceptionally well in real-world contexts. A man can deadlift 400 pounds and fail the 3-second test if his posture is compromised and he moves stiffly. Meanwhile, a man lifting 60% of that can pass easily if he's built the right physique architecture. What does actually fit prioritize? Posterior chain development. Your back, glutes, hamstrings. These create the posture and movement quality women notice. Most men focus on chest, arms, and abs because those are mirror muscles, but a developed back, lats, traps, rear delts, pulls your shoulders back and creates the shoulder width that's visible through clothing. Yet most men neglect it completely. Body composition matters more than muscle mass. At 55, 60, 65, a managed waistline beats more muscle every time. A 34-inch waist at 60 beats a 38-inch waist with more muscle because waist circumference predicts health outcomes and self-discipline. Your waistline shows whether you apply wisdom to nutrition. Mobility separates actually fit from gym fit more than any strength metric. Can you touch your toes? Squat to full depth? Rotate your spine freely? These basic patterns decline rapidly after 50 if you don't maintain them, and their absence is visible in how you carry yourself. Stiff movement reads as age and limitation. Fluid movement reads as vitality. This takes 12 to 16 weeks minimum. That time's passing anyway. Focus on posture, shoulder-to-waist ratio, and mobility, and you'll see the difference in how people respond to you. But here's what fitness content won't tell you. The real reason most men fail isn't lack of effort. It's training for the wrong outcome entirely. Point 4. Why 89% of fit men over 50 still look average to women. You're training for metrics that don't translate to real-world assessment. Gym culture focuses on strength numbers and aesthetic goals that don't create the visual markers women evaluate. Can you bench 225? Are your arms 16 inches? These benchmarks drive male training, and they're almost completely irrelevant to passing the test. Training to achieve them often works against the postural foundation that actually matters. The bench press trap. It's the most popular lift, and for men over 50, it's often counterproductive. Heavy pressing tightens your chest, pulls your shoulders forward, and reinforces the postural dysfunction women notice negatively. Unless you're balancing every pressing movement with twice the pulling volume, and most men aren't, you're building a physique that fails the first marker. The mirror muscle obsession makes you look average in clothes. Biceps, chest, abs, most men prioritize these because they're visible in the mirror. But none of them create the shoulder-to-waist ratio that's visible through clothing. That ratio comes from lat width and shoulder cap development. When you train for the mirror, you build a physique that only looks impressive shirtless, and most assessments happen fully clothed. The mobility deficit nobody addresses. I'll be honest, most women my age won't admit this publicly, but when we see a muscular man over 50 move stiffly, the attraction evaporates instantly. Stiff movement reads as declining, limited, old. Yet mobility work is almost completely absent from most men's training. Without dedicated mobility work, you're building strength on top of dysfunction. And that dysfunction is immediately visible. You could be dedicating hours each week to training and still fail to create the outcome you want: presence, attraction, and respect in real-world settings. The physique that impresses other men at the gym is not the same architecture that passes women's assessment in daily life. The men who understand this shift their entire training philosophy, that's exactly what you need to do. Point 5. How to train to pass the 3-second test. After 50, training to pass the test requires a complete reframe. Less pushing, more pulling. Less mirror work, more posterior chain. For every set of pressing you do, perform 2 sets of pulling. Rows, pull-ups, face pulls, these build the back development that creates posture and shoulder width. This corrects forward shoulder dysfunction and builds the architecture women notice. Prioritize these: barbell rows, cable rows, lat pull-downs, rear delt flies, face pulls. Add deadlift variations for glute and hamstring development that supports posture. These aren't glamorous, but they create the structural foundation that passes the test. Mobility work is non-negotiable, daily. 10 to 15 minutes of dedicated mobility focused on thoracic spine, hip flexors, shoulder mobility, and ankle flexibility. These areas tighten with age, and their restriction is visible in your movement. The return shows up fast. Within weeks, your movement quality improves noticeably. Body composition requires nutrition discipline. You cannot outtrain a poor diet after 50. To maintain waist management, control calories and prioritize protein. Track your food for 2 weeks. Adjust from there. Expect 4 to 6 months to see significant changes if you need to drop body fat. Quick recap. Posture comes from posterior chain development. Train your back twice as much as your chest. Shoulder to waist ratio comes from lat width and body composition. Movement quality comes from daily mobility practice. Train for these outcomes and you'll shift from average to noticeable within 4 months. At 50, 60, 65, 70, you have resources younger men don't. Discipline. Experience. You're not competing with 30-year-olds. You're standing out from the 89% who either gave up or are training for the wrong markers. Conclusion. Remember at the start, I mentioned 89% of men over 50 fail the 3-second test? Now you understand why. Women over 40 assess fitness through capability markers, posture, shoulder-to-waist ratio through clothing, and movement quality. These 3 markers reveal real fitness in 3 seconds. Most men train for mirror muscles and gym performance that don't translate to real-world presence. Actually fit after 50 means prioritizing posterior chain development, body composition management, and daily mobility work. You're 50, 60, 65, 70 plus. That's distinction. You've demonstrated discipline to build careers and relationships. Applying that same discipline to building the right physique architecture, that separates the 11% who pass from the 89% who fail. The time's passing anyway. You can spend the next 4 months training the right way and transforming how people assess you. Or you can keep training the same way and wonder why your fitness doesn't translate to the respect and attraction you deserve. Subscribe to Style Connection to transform your physique, elevate your style, and maximize your attraction. Premium content for men 45 to 70 plus. I post daily about fitness, style, and attraction. Hit the bell so you don't miss it. If this changed your perspective, hit the like button and share it with someone who needs to understand the 3-second test. Pass the test or stay average. The choice is yours, but now you know exactly what we're looking at. We have a recommended video on your screen now for you to watch next. See you there.